Everybody, how you guys doing? This is Marty Elias here. Just want to say thank you guys very much for tuning in and coming in and being a lifer at Life After 3. And what's really cool about this is that this is our third episode. So Life After 3, huh? How about that? So want to welcome in my guest. You guys probably know her from playing Carmen on Glow, MACHU PICCHU, Carmen Wade. She's probably one of the biggest bookworms that I've ever met in my life as well. She did some other cool stuff, and her time in Hollywood has been amazing too. You know, she actually started as a PA and was an assistant and stuff and everything. And, love her to death. She and I have this bond that we still have today. And when we met, it was like, we knew each other for years and years and years. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in my very dear sister, Britney Young.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
How you doing, darling?
I mean, why don't I have my own theme music? Why didn't we discuss this beforehand?
Well, the next time I bring you in, we're going to have your own theme music. Okay. So we'll do that. Yeah. So how you doing? How you doing pandemic wise?
I'm doing okay. I mean, it's funny. It's like the people who are like, I'm doing perfect. I'm like, really? Are you? What's going on? No, I'm doing good. Finally getting back to work after, unfortunately, Glow being canceled last year, which is so crazy. It was like a year ago last month that we found we were canceled.
Such a bummer.
So silly, so dumb. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. Finally getting back into work, getting ready for the holidays,
Awesome. So I'm going to take us back to Glow. I'm going to take us back on some very cool stuff that we did and some very amazing times that we had and stuff. And, we're going to share this and talk about Glow and pull back the curtain a little bit on some of the stuff that we did there. And just to let people know on how amazing it was, not only as a show that was on Netflix and was loved by folks and stuff, and it did very, very well. We won Emmys for it and such, but just to take people back because of the fact that it was canceled abruptly like it was and stuff. And it's a bummer, but I want people to get a feel of how cool it was to be on that show and the bonds that we created and stuff. And I think those are going to last for our lifetimes. And Britney, you're stuck with me.
Ugh. Just
I know. So first thing I want to ask you, what was your first day of training like for Glow? Because I was there, but I know what happened, but I want to give you an opportunity to tell everybody what it was like your very first day, because I'm going to jump real quick. Yeah. I remember you girls showed up and Britt Barron wasn't there the first day.
She wasn't.
But when she did get there, remember when CHAVO and Kia got in and they did their, So I'm not going to say anything further. I'll let you take that. And please just let's do this.
I mean, it is really funny because I'm like trying to think when you were like said, what was the first day? Like, I'm like, I don't remember the first day except for CHAVO and Kia. But yeah, no, it was just one of those things where it was so, well, first of all, it was nice to meet everybody, just coming in and seeing 14 other women who were of all shapes, sizes, ages, stuff like that. And meeting CHAVO and SHAUNA and Helena and you, and just seeing how you guys came from all different backgrounds within wrestling or just within movie making. And you guys were coming together to like make this possible. And like, I really remember one of the funny things is I remember CHAVO just telling us like, okay, this is how you get into the ring. You're going to open up the things and you can, open up the ropes and you can crawl through, or you can jump over, or you can roll under. And we're like, we know how to get into the ring. Marty, do you remember all of us were like, wait a minute, I'll hold this for you. You put your leg, like, yes. It was one of those moments where I was like, okay, ego needs to be thrown out because this is a whole new ball game for all of us. Like, nobody knows what they're doing. And then, I remember when Britt Barron finally showed up, and because I think at that point we didn't even know Kia Stevens, who played Tamale. We didn't know she was a professional wrestler. We didn't know she was no clue. And no clue. And like Chavo was like, all right, like Britt, you missed a few things. Like we're gonna show you, you know, just what you guys will end up getting. And he's like, Kia, come on up. And they just started wrestling. And we were like around the ring, like, what? You know, like freaking out. And like I remember Britt was like, he's gonna hurt her. He's gonna hurt her because she didn't know Kia was a professional.
Yeah.
And like, and I just remember for me, it was really inspiring to see because, you know, he and I talk about this a lot, like being bigger women in a sport where, you know, it's an asset, but then also could be a detriment to be a larger person. Like it was so inspiring to see her just like kick ass. And, you know, training was so much fun and just such a strange, funny group of people.
Yeah, and you know what was fun is that we actually had those 30-day boot camps before we even got into shooting or anything. And you girls would come in for 30 days and we would be in these that confined space with just all of us there and everything. So I really feel from that aspect, you know, that we did bond and we did connect, you know, because we were confined. And, you know, our training was from 8 in the morning to like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 5 days a week.
Yeah, 5 days a week. And, you know, we were there for a long, long time. And, you know, we got to know each other. Yeah. And I really look back on that very fondly and just go like, man, that's a time in my life that I will never, ever forget.
Same. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's funny because the things that we would talk about in the ring and like for us to just be like completely open and like to look at like, especially the first season, like, sorry, people listening, like we're in there talking about like your face was in my vagina, like I just sweat on you, like all these bodily functions that for women it's kind of things that we don't talk about in the open, but we were just so open. And like to see you and Chavo's faces the first season being like, I feel like I shouldn't be here for this conversation, to then to season 2 and 3 where you guys were like, oh well, this one time when we were doing that, like you guys joined in and could understand, like we understood your experiences and you understood our experiences. And it really was like in a weird way, like it's not just 15 women in the ring. It was like, it was the 19 of us all together being wrestlers and like experiencing that together. And it was just so fun.
Yeah, it was. And like I said, I look back on that fondly, and what really just, I feel so blessed is to see you guys go from not knowing anything to doing the actual matches and stuff that we choreographed with Shauna and Helena and Chavo, and just to see you guys go in there and kill it. I mean, to me, that was so gratifying and going, wow, man, I'm a part of this. And to see you guys do so well, it was humbling to see that and just made me feel so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, same for us, obviously. Like, and it's crazy to think, like, I don't know, like I think back on some of the times, like I remember first season, me and Kia rehearsing our match for the finale, and I can't remember what move we tried to put in there, but I couldn't get it. And I just like broke down crying.
Remember that.
And like was so frustrated because I wanted to do not well for myself, but well for you guys and be like, you know, like I want to do this kick-ass move. And I just remember you guys were just like, we're going to change it and give you another kick-ass move you can do. Like, why
there were so many things. There were so many things, that we can pick and choose from. And that was cool about professional wrestling and incorporating it with you guys. So with that, let me ask you, because I know how your audition went, but I want you to tell people about the first time you met Shauna and Chavo for your audition, because this is a great story.
Okay, so I'll back up a couple of steps. So when I first got the audition for Glow, I went in and thought I just bombed. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this part. Like, it was written a little bit differently than what ended up being the character that I played. And I had walked out of the audition and I was like, I'm so sorry to like my agent. I was like, I didn't book that. Sorry, my next door neighbor's loud motorcycles driving by. I just called my agent and was like, I didn't book it. He called me a couple hours later and was like, you have a callback tomorrow with the showrunners and your producer, Genji Cohen, who did Orange is the New Black. And I was like, interesting. So went in for the callback. This time around, thought I crushed it. I was like, this is my role. I got it. I'm set. I didn't hear anything for like a month. And finally, they called my reps and were like, can she come in for a stunt audition? And I was like, of course I'll come in for a stunt audition. Like, it'll be totally fine. And I show up and I meet CHAVO for the first time. And I meet SHAUNA, our stunt coordinator. And they were very honest and was just like, you're not on our insurance. We can't have you, you know, doing anything too crazy. So like, do a couple of forward rolls, stand on this ledge and like jump off it, punch the punching bag a couple times. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And it was maybe like 45 minutes. And SHAUNA was like, okay, you know, thank you so much for meeting us. Like, we'll let Liz and Carly, our showrunners, know like what we think, just so you know, there is another girl who's coming in after you. And at that moment I was like, okay, Britney, do not leave this audition without picking one of these people up. I don't know why. I don't know why that literally was like the thought. I could have thought of any other move, but I was like, you have to pick one of them up. So I just looked at SHAUNA. I was like, SHAUNA, run at me. I'm going to catch you. And she's like, you're not on insurance. You're not on insurance. I was like, SHAUNA, I was a cheerleader for 7 years. I can catch you. And she was like, okay. So she ran at me and I caught her. And she was like, oh, like, I feel really secure. I feel very safe. And I was like, yes, you did it. And then CHAVO, being the little dick he is, and I can say that lovingly because he knows this story and we laugh about it. Yes. He looked at me and he was like, can you do me? And I was like, all right, let's go. And he ran at me and I caught him. And he was like, yeah, I feel safe. I feel secure. And I like put him down. And I was like, good job, Britney. And that was like on a Friday. And then that following Monday, I got the call that I booked the role and was needed for wrestling training a week from that Monday. So if I didn't pick them up, Marty, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? And it's funny because I remember hearing CHAVO, you know, when he told me about it and stuff before you guys started. And I just went, cool mug, by the way, Disney princess.
From the Glow Girls.
Hey, they know you.
Like 2 years ago.
They know you. But yeah, I mean, you know, it was great, you know, to hear this story. And then when you guys came in, it was like, okay, you know, they're going to get it. And what was really cool is that you guys had all these different unique backgrounds. Like Kate Nash was this pop singer from the UK. You know, Jackie was a singer, guitarist. She was on American Idol. You know, so you had all these individuals who had these different backgrounds. And to see you guys come in and start learning how to do professional wrestling was very, very mind-blowing to see that you guys were able to come in and be those professionals and really just pick up on it. So tell me about, what was it like becoming Carmen, Machu Picchu?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I think other than, that's not the right word. I think I had the biggest advantage kind of creating my character over the other girls, because my story of being part of a wrestling dynasty and needing to come in and like prove myself really mimicked CHAVO. Like I can't undersell how inspirational and how much advice CHAVO gave me about how my character should act, what my character should know, what she would do. Like so much of Carmen Wade is due to Chavo Guerrero Jr. and his family and the Guerreros, you know, and you know, it just was one of those things where I was like, I need to do this well, especially because the wrestling community, like, they're tough judges. Like,
oh my God.
I was baffled by the amount of, well, one, positive feedback, but like some of the negative feedback where I was like, okay, like season 2, we'll do this and that. But like, I knew I had to do it for that community to come in. Like, I couldn't be the one wrestler on the show that didn't know how to wrestle or didn't know the terminology.
Yeah, so you had something to prove.
Yeah, I had something to prove for sure. And I think, you know, the funny part about it now is like, I love that people thought I was actually a wrestler, because that's just a testament to, you know, me putting in that work as an actor to make
and
sure.
You did, and a lot of you girls did put in that work.
Oh, hell yeah! Like, I mean, it just is one of those things where I'm just like, I'm so proud to know that the wrestling community really did not only just bring my character in, but brought all of us in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I don't say this lightly, it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get the physical side of that show correct.
So what was it like learning professional wrestling from this third generation wrestler from this family dynasty, the Guerreros, learning how to do professional wrestling from Chavo Guerrero? What was that experience like? And what did you take away from it?
I mean, it is one of the most brutally honest and humbling experiences I've ever had, because one, Chavo doesn't BS around.
No.
Like, he is straight up, and he will tell you if you're doing something wrong. He will tell you how to do it right. It's never in a malicious way. It's never in a negative way. It is in a way where, one, he wants us to be the best that we can be, but more importantly, he wants everyone to be safe. Yeah. And he wants it to be fun and enjoyable. And I think that was something to me that I really appreciated, because I come from, my father's been a football basketball coach for 30 plus years. So I come from a family. And
you were a cheerleader as well.
Exactly. So like, I already came from a place where, you know, I'm used to being coached, but to then come underneath what Chavo does, where again, it's like, oh crap, you didn't get that move. Cool, we'll change it. Yeah. You know, like, it's just so open and honest. And I think, yeah, like, that's literally what I took away from it, was just that love that he showed to all of us, that you guys all showed to us, was just something so comforting. But like, I think for me, it took me, I don't even know, Marty, I don't even know if I accomplished it, but it took me a really long time to get out of my head, where the cheerleading background did come in a lot, because as cheerleaders, we want to keep people safe. Like, that's our number one priority. I don't want to ever hurt anyone. And so for me, as a bigger woman, for me to be told, all right, go ahead, throw Kate Nash into the ground, throw Allison Brie into the ground, who are half my size, I panicked. Yeah. And
I remember those panic attacks.
Yeah. And like, overcompensated and was like trying to keep them safe, but like having to be, you know, Chavo being there and SHAUNA being there and just saying like, Britt, you're not going to hurt anybody. Like, stop making yourself small because you think that going big is going to be dangerous. Yeah. You know, and that did take me a really long time to get into my head. Like, I'm not going to hurt anyone. I'm learning the safe way. I'm learning the right way. And I can be myself in these experiences, and I can be Machu Picchu, and I can be Carmen and be big and not kind of like shy away from these things out of fear. And that was like a really big lesson. Like, I think season 3, when I finally got the suplex the right way. Yep. The right way.
The right way.
Huh? Holy cow. Like, that was so life-changing, because I was like, oh yeah, really what I was doing was making sure my partner is safe, instead of being this powerful being that I knew I could be. And that was just like a game changer.
Yeah. And it was great to see you, because I know, you know, that you just said, you know, being a bigger woman and stuff, and with your audition, you know, Chavo ran at you and stuff like that. But the fact, you know, that you were such an amazing base for all these girls, and that was a thing that SHAUNA, Helena, and Chavo and myself were just like, man, Britney's probably the best base, you know, because you were just there for everything and everybody. And it was so cool to see you go from ground zero to literally becoming a professional wrestler.
Show. Yeah.
Amen. You know, so, hey, did we say that? We did.
What?
Hello. So remember when we did Debbie Does Something, when we went to that little place and we taped it? That was my first time really getting involved, I want to say, in front of the camera, you know, where they put the wig on me and stuff and gave me the stash and all that. But there it is. So, but remember, you, Betty, and Jackie, this was literally the first time that you guys were going to see professional wrestling live and in person and all that. What was that experience like?
I mean, first of all, you look cute as a button in your little bow tie and your little wig. Yeah, we were not prepared. Straight up, we were not prepared for how hard these guys were going to go. John and Ryan, right?
No, it was Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels.
Oh, that's right. In the first match.
Yeah, but Kevin Kiley was Kevin. The other dude.
Yes. Oh my God. And then Johnny from, yes. Okay. I'm mixing everybody's names.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we were not prepared. Cause like you said, it was the first time we'd ever seen professional wrestling up close. And for some crazy reason, the writers thought, let's give the girls a bunch of lines that they have to say during the match. That first take, we didn't get any lines out because we're sitting there like, whoa, like we were reacting to what these guys were doing in the ring. And like, oh my God, I just remember I was, again, like so nervous because I thought like, oh my God, somebody's going to get hurt. Like, you know, this is just too much. It's too intense. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I just spent like 2 months learning how to do this.
Yeah.
Like I know what they're doing. And that to me is the beauty of wrestling. Like when people say it's fake, I'm just like, my dude, you have no idea what goes into this beautiful, beautiful art. Like when Chavo says you're going to dance with your partner, it really is a dance. If somebody misses one move, the whole entire routine is off. The whole entire dynamic is off.
Yeah. And you know, it's great you say dancing and stuff because you're literally, somebody's entrusting you with their life.
Exactly.
And if there's any movement or something that goes astray or whatever, there can be some very serious injuries. And Chavo and I have seen that in our careers and stuff. And that's why Chavo was so adamant about doing stuff correctly. And if you guys weren't getting it or it wasn't registering, that's why, you know, we took the time and we said, we're going to just focus on this until we get it right. And And that was the thing because we wanted you guys, and like you said, we wanted you guys to get this right. And so many wrestling folks are fickle about, you know, they can't, it's all that stuff. So with you guys really getting involved with that and getting immersed into what professional wrestling is and was, hats off to all of you gals.
Oh yeah. Like it's something like I get, especially when the show is going, like I would get so many people be like, can you put me in a headlock? Can you like give me an arm bar? I was like, I'm not going to do that because you don't know what to do.
Nope.
I know what to do, but you don't know what to do. So like, especially that first episode of seeing the guys go at it, it was like, this is what we get to do. Like, are we going to be those people? Like we came in every day with new moves to Chavo, be like, oh, we watched like WWE Raw last night. We watched Lucha Underground. Like we want to do this move. And Chavo would be like, no. Like,
and it was funny because some of the moves we'd go, that wasn't around in 1985.
Yes, so many of the moves weren't around in 1985. But I just remember, poor Phil Abraham, who directed the Debbie Does Something episode, where, me, Betty, and Jackie just could not get a hold of ourselves because we were the audience in the crowd and watching these guys go through. And plus you too, because I remember like in between takes, we'd be like, Marty!
Yeah, and I'd go over and post for you guys and stuff.
Exactly.
There's photos there somewhere. I
know. When you asked me, I was like, I know I have photos. And I even went through our Glow Girl photo chain. And it's just so deep that I was like, oh my God. Like,
I'm sure they're out there somewhere because we took them. And it was great because you guys were legitimately reacting because you guys had never really got to hear the rings and the bouncing and clean clang and all this stuff. So that with that first take, I still remember it and laughing because you guys were just like, oh, and it was like cut. And what happened? Britney, you had a line there.
Didn't you? Like, it was like, correct me if I'm wrong. Our hero ring, for people to know, that's the ring that's actually on camera. And then our training ring were 20 by 20.
Yes, they were.
And this was 14 by 14, when we shot with the guys.
Yes, it was.
So it was like, everything was so fast. And I remember for me, I had a line, oh my God, what is it? It's like Carmen says like, oh, what is the move? The moon. Oh, the moonsault. I go like,
moonsault.
It's the moonsault. It's the most famous wrestling move of all time. I remember he went up to go do it, but it was so quick that my line had to match him doing it. So
timing was off.
Yeah. Instead of me being like, oh, he's about to do the moonsault. It's like one of the biggest wrestling moves of all time. You literally hear me in the cadence of like, here's the moonsault. He's like, it was so quick. And I think we just weren't expecting that. And I remember we did a couple takes where it was like, all right, guys, like, just kind of mimic things and you girls get the lines out. But then the lines that they used are really our real reactions of like, ah.
Yeah, you guys were really just going, ah. And I remember Jackie going, oh my God, and just like going nuts. And Betty, it was cool because Betty really just didn't get what professional wrestling was or what it was. And I really love the fact that her character and Betty herself were really kind of learning it and going like, it made sense and it clicked, when she got to actually see it for the first time. So I thought that was very cool the way it was done. So, but speaking of Lucha Underground, you mentioned Lucha Underground earlier, and Chavo and I were a part of that. Do you guys remember going to the Tamale Festival?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear your memories of that day.
Oh, the Tamale Festival. So what? That was in
Escondido.
So I think like 6 or 7 of us girls, Marty had said he was going to be.
There you guys are.
Yeah, he's going to be working this match at the Tamale Festival. So we're like, we'll come down and we'll watch. And like, you got us like bomb seats. We were like right in the front row, and we're watching this match. Who I can't remember now who it was between.
Was I involved with it?
Yeah, no, the match. You know the match I'm talking about.
Oh, it was with Johnny and Taya. Remember?
Yes. Okay. So they're doing their thing. They're having their match, and you, Marty, the referee, you get knocked out.
Yes, I do. Johnny and Taya beat me up.
Yes, they turned on you.
Yeah, they did.
And us girls pitched a fit. We got up on our feet. We're like, get off of them. No, come on, Marty. And you just hear Kate Nash in her British accent be like, come on, Marty. Come on, Marty. Get him back, Marty. Like, get up, Marty. Get up, Marty. And like, you're just on the ground completely like done. And now we're pissed because like Johnny had been on the show. We loved Taya. Like, they were our family, and they had just like turned on you. So when they're kind of doing their little peacock strut after beating you up, like we're yelling at them, like screw you. Like Sidel was cursing.
I know she was.
Like she was throwing out F-bombs left and right, and Kate's like yelling at you to get up. Then all of a sudden you get up, and it's like kind of subtle, and we're like, oh my God, what's happening? And you just grabbed a chair and like bam, right over, and just went at them. And we were like, he's back, freaking out. Of course, us like, again, in the, amazing hype of it all, we're like, how did he come back? Was that planned? Did we know? Did they know? Like, we were just so into it.
Remember I jumped off of the corner onto all of them?
Yes, it was 3 of them. Who was the other?
It was Ricky Mandel, it was Taya, and it was Johnny. And I slowly but surely came back alive, and I made a little comeback with the chair, and then I got up and I went diving on him.
You went diving and just pummeled them all, and we were like, yeah! Like it was such an amazing moment because like obviously at that point we'd been working with you for a while, but like we'd see you do your like little shy like, oh, I'm gonna come in here and like do a little move for you girls. Like I'll just do a little thing, and then you'd like run back and be like, oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like that's the extent of like that was like the extent of us seeing you wrestle, and then all of a sudden you're like winning the match, coming back from like the dead, and we were like, okay, that. And I remember we sent on the way home. I think Sidel had taken a video, and we sent it to the rest of the girls who couldn't make it. Yeah. And like, our text chain was blowing up. Like everyone was so excited. Yeah,
it was something, that to have you guys there, because we hadn't even started shooting anything at that point. We were still training you guys, and you guys hadn't seen anything yet. And the fact that, we wanted to get you guys kind of in a headspace where you guys knew what professional wrestling was and kind of get you incorporated with it. So that's why I was like, come on, you guys got to come check this out, come on down and we'll take care of you. And your reaction to what professional wrestling was priceless, because you guys really bought into everything that we were doing. And that's why I wanted you guys to go there, because I wanted you guys to get that and go, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And this is why we need to do it this way. So I'm glad you guys were able to do that and experience that. And when you guys went back, you guys had a better understanding of what you guys had to do.
Yeah.
So that was great. So I remember you gals going to a WWE live event.
Yes, we did Well, I went to one, but I think overall they did a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember you gals coming back and telling me and Chavo about WWE and a lot of the things that you've seen. And you guys were telling us things that Chavo and I just kind of looked at each other and went, yeah, we know. But go ahead and tell our viewers what you saw and what you told Chavo and I.
I mean, well, now I'm trying to think because you make it sound like it's mysterious.
No, remember there were certain moves and things that they would be doing.
Oh, yes. I mean, we definitely, one of the cool things that we found out or that we noticed, again, like, wrestling community was very gracious. We got front row seats at like anything we went to wrestling wise. So we got really great seats, but we now being, because I think that was because Shakira was there. So it was second season.
Yeah.
Coming back for second season. And we now notice things like we could see the two wrestlers talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know, we could see them whispering into each other's ears, counting or saying, are you ready? Do this. Things that we were told to do. And like, you know, Travel giving us all the things like how to hide it, you know, or the little squiggy, to just be like, okay, enough. We saw those things. And that was like a moment where it was like, okay, we are wrestlers. We are doing what the professionals are doing.
Yeah,
like,
I know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I know how to do that.
Yeah. Or even like, I remember there was one match where I think, I won't say the wrestlers' names because I don't want to get like murdered on Twitter. But they were, one of the guys was going to shoot the other into the ropes. And I remember they didn't grab hands the right way. Mm-hmm. So the launch was a little wonky and not as
fluid.
Aggressive. Yeah, not as fluid, not as aggressive as it could have been. And I remember all of us kind of looking at each other and be like, that wasn't right. Like, we don't think that was the right way to do it, especially because we knew as our group, that was that little hand embrace and the timing of it was something that took us a very long time to get. Yeah. So like, I remember us doing that or figuring that out. And yeah. And like, also too, just learning new things, like in that event, like poor Seamus, he like hit his head on the
barricade.
No, not on the barricade. Oh my God. Why can't
the turnbuckle.
The turnbuckle.
The turnbuckle
yes,
post.
The post. Guys, yeah. I was a wrestler for 4 years. I swear to God. It's been a pandemic. He hit his head on the turnbuckle on the post, and he ended up like knocking one of his teeth out and was bleeding.
Oh, you know who that was? That was Cesaro, because they shot him up and he went and he overshot and he hit the post. I remember that now.
But it was like
his teeth went up.
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, they got to call the match. Like, he's bleeding everywhere. And we told Chavo the story later, and he was like, if it doesn't get to a point where it's, like, actually detrimental, dangerous, they're going to play through. And that, to me, was also another thing where I'm like, this is real. Like, it can go, like you said, like, south real quick.
Real quick. And the fact is that when you're at that level, you need to be able to adjust and move on and really kind of cover up what was happening and stuff. But just at the same time, too, making sure that the other guy was safe and stuff. And that was a thing, you know, that I was really blessed to see that Chavo was really adamant about you guys being safe with everything you guys did, because the last thing that we wanted to do was avoid those types of things, you know, where you guys were going to get hurt or hit your heads or do whatever and get hurt and not be able to shoot and stuff. So Chavo, hats off to him. And I love Chavo. He's a dear brother, but what he did with you girls is just amazing and stuff. So what was it like becoming a professional wrestler?
Hard.
In what way? What way?
No, I don't want to answer deeper. Next question. No, like it just, again, it was one of those things where you as a wrestler, you put so much of your energy, not just in the ring, but outside practice. Like you have to get your body right. You have to get your mind right to do this. And I really do think the thing for me, physically, of course it was tough. Like, you know, I'm literally lifting bodies, throwing bodies, catching bodies, throwing my own body. Like, it was just something where I don't think I've ever felt physically that much pain and soreness in my body, yet at the same time, so much pride in what it could do, you know? And again, like when I say people came at me and were like, are you a professional wrestler for real? Or like, I don't believe, that's the best compliment. I don't believe you girls did all of your own stunts. There are no stunt doubles on Glow. Reiterate, there are no stunt doubles on Glow.
It was all you girls. It was all you girls.
And, you know, for some people to not believe that is like weirdly the biggest compliment, because we worked so hard to not need stunt doubles. Yeah. You know, props to the stunt world, but like we worked hard to do this in a way that we could do it. And I think once that came into my mind, I just really fell in love with it. But to be honest, coming towards the 4th season, I started not wanting to do it. And mostly because it was just so taxing. And like I spent the 2nd season, every episode wrestling. Every episode, Carmen had wrestling. And 2 or 3 episodes, I had multiple matches, you know, and I had to go to Liz and Carly and say, I need a break. Where can you give me a break? Because I'm just worn out. Like, you know, on days I literally would start on set and then finish in the ring, or I would start in the gym with you guys and finish on set. Like it was just, 2nd season for me was brutal. And they definitely listened and gave me an episode off, and it was a little lighter in the 3rd season. But it just got to a point for me where, again, I realized how difficult and how hard it was, and realized you have to have the passion. Yeah. You have to have the dedication to want to do this. And that's why when like people would ask me, would you ever come in and do like a lucha match, or would you ever come in and do a WWE match with the ladies there? I respectfully say no, because it's not my passion. It's something that I loved doing, and I'm so glad I did it. And I'm so glad the community brought me in and appreciated what we've done. But I could never live up to the dedication that these men and women put into this sport, you know?
You know, but you say that, and the fact that you were really used on season 2, just kudos to you, because you were getting it. You understood it. You were training hard for it and stuff. And the fact that you were getting so good at it, you know, it was one of those things where it's just like, wow, man, she really gets it. And that's the thing in professional wrestling. You either get it or you don't get it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people stay their entire lives at this level because something just isn't clicking. But once you get it and it clicks and everything, that's when you start ascending to these levels, and you're on television touring the world and doing WrestleManias and Lucha Undergrounds and stuff like that. But kudos to you again, because you really understood it and you knew what you had to do, and you did it very, very well. And I like to say that you really just, you didn't complain about it. You didn't complain about it. You just, I know you did from time to time, but you went in and you put the work, and God bless you for that. You know,
is that not what this podcast? I appreciate you saying that, but I can't complain about it now. Is what you're saying?
Please do.
On this podcast? No, it's just like, I mean, thank you. I really do appreciate coming from you, honestly, Marty. That really does make me a little bit fuzzy. But it is just one of those things. Like I said to CHAVO a lot, I really respected how much they respected me as a wrestler, because you're right. Like there were matches where literally CHAVO and SHAUNA would be like, okay, this person got their backs a little bit tweaked, put in Brit. And I would have to come in and learn an entire match that I wasn't scheduled to do in like a couple days. And like, of course I was going to do it for the team. I was going to do it for the group, but it did, you know, get to a point where I was like, can we maybe pull it back on this move, or can you give me one huge move at the end and we can kind of do a few things here and there. And like I think too, like to be pushed out of your comfort zone, and like, you know, a lot of things, like I knew I was never gonna fly. Like I knew it. I'm never gonna fly.
See, and CHAVO knew it, SHAUNA knew it. You were never gonna, you and Kia were never gonna fly.
We were never gonna fly, but the moves we got to do were so badass that it didn't matter that our feet never left the ground, because we were the heroes of those moves. Like I think of in episode 10, the Christmas episode in Vegas of season 3, where like literally
Ooh, that was brutal.
Yeah, like Ruth is jumping off of the ropes and I'm catching her, and I was literally catching her. Like it was no CGI, no, I was catching her.
No wires, no nothing. It was
nothing.
It was all her coming towards you.
Yeah, just coming towards me. Or I think like that's what breaks my heart about season 4, the match we did with Kat and with Taya and Allison. I'm so sad that the public. That's not the fans. I'm sad that fans will never see that match because one, it was the longest match we've ever shot. We
put in a lot of work in that match too.
We put a lot of work into that match, and it just had so many amazing elements. And it was the first episode back, what would have been season 4, and it just really set the tone of how big we were going to go this season.
Yes.
And I'm so sad we didn't get to show everybody that.
I know it sucks. One of the biggest moves that I remember you doing was in season 1, the season finale, when you power bombed Kia out of the corner.
Yes.
That was insane. And I remember I remember you going to Chavo and Shauna and going like, I think I got 2 in me. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was like, it's funny because, you know, I'm assuming that your listeners know who Kia is outside of
absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
She's awesome calm. Like she's amazing.
Calm, brother.
Like she's a legend in this business. And
love her.
One of her moves is the power bomb. Mm-hmm. And she has only been power bombed by like 4 other people in her entire career.
Exactly.
And I was just like, I'm number 5. Like I was so honored that because that's the thing is like, she's so gracious. She knew people were going to come and see, all right, Kia Stevens is involved. This better be legit. She knew. And she put her ego and her pride aside and said, Britney, come powerbomb me.
See, and you know, you saying that about Kia just shows the pro that she is and why she's been so successful in her wrestling career, because she knows how to do business.
Yeah. And she knew that was going to be the story. And also, like, again, I'm so glad that they matched us because she was my inspiration the whole season. Like, if Kia can do it, I can do it. And she made sure I knew that. And I remember, yes, we had done it. I want to say in practice, we never did it to them. Oh, no, that's not
we did it to Matt's. We did it to Matt's.
Well, no, I was going to say we never did it to Canvas. We did it to Matt's, me and Kia. I took Chavo to Canvas.
Yeah.
I took Chavo to Canvas because he's like, if this goes south, I know how to I know how to correct it. So I took Chavo to Canvas, never Kia. But I remember when we shot, I was so nervous. I was like, I think I can do it twice. I'll be honest with you, Marty, I blacked out. Wow. So, I remember being in between her legs, and then I remember her being on the ground.
So when you took Chavo to Canvas, did Chavo warm up?
I don't think so.
Remember Chavo's warm up? Remember Chavo's warm up?
Oh my gosh, yes. He just jumped off the ropes onto the canvas.
But remember his.
Oh, what a. He's gonna listen to this and be like, wow, clearly didn't make enough of an impression on you that you don't remember all the weird stuff I did.
That's great. Oh. So do you think there'll ever be a Glow movie to finish up what we had coming for season 4?
You know, the optimist in me says, I hope so. I know for a fact, all of us are down. In a heartbeat, all of us will come back. We wanted to finish this story, you know, and we got little bits and pieces of what was going to happen in the season.
I remember
when we started. So we were so excited. And then when we got shut down, we kind of heard rumblings that it was going to be restructured for obvious reasons. We cannot shoot a 300-person wrestling match during COVID. Like, we just can't. So, of course, some things were going to be structured. But then when we finally got, you know, the cancellation email and phone call, like, we were just devastated. Like, we wanted to finish, you know, for not just for ourselves, but for the fans. Like, you know, we want to know what happens to these people.
Yeah. And for me, it was sad because I remember somebody texting me and sending me the deadline link and reading it and going like, whoa, the producers are Leanne or Juna, nobody got a hold of me. It was like, I was like, and the first person that I text was you. And I went, is this true? You know, I was devastated.
Yeah, because it was the day that we had, like, it was one of those things where it was like, we had a phone call with Liz and Carly and Genji and Tara, and they said, don't say anything because we're going to try to figure out what we can do. Mm-hmm. And then literally like a couple hours later, we then got a text being like, it's about to be released on deadline, like, be prepped. So it was such a weird, it was such a weird, like 24 hours. And like, I think I get really frustrated now. And I know this is really stupid, but we've been so honest thus far. Let's just continue.
Let's do it. That's why we're here.
I feel really upset sometimes when I see on Twitter people who are like, when's the next season of Glow come out? And I'm like, if you were a fan, you would know we were canceled. Like, you know, because it just brings up the bitterness and it brings up the sadness of not being able to finish. And I'm glad the pandemic allowed people to find our show. Like so many new fans came our way, and it, you know, makes me so sad for them that they heard, like, we were about to start shooting episode 3. We were shooting. Yeah. You know, like, it wasn't like we were picked up and then we never started. We had trained for a month and we were already a month or a couple weeks into shooting. Yeah. And I just remember being sad because for me, it was, how could this happen? I mean, we the show was beloved and stuff. Was it one of Netflix's, one of their really high rated shows? No. It probably didn't, but there was still a cult following for it and people who really enjoyed the original Glow back in the 80s, mm-hmm. you know, and that was the other thing too. Like a lot of those older Glow ladies and everything were really fascinated with the show and really wanted to be part of it and stuff. And to see that type of following and then wrestling fans getting acquainted with it and finding it, it was like, man, we just had so much more to do and really just to tie that loose end up. Yeah. So it was sad and it's bittersweet. And it's funny because me working now, when I wear my Glow hoodie or I wear my Glow beanie or something like that on set, people go, oh my God, I love Glow. And I went, me too. And then, like, it's hard to be humble about something you work on and are also a fan of. Mm-hmm. Like, anytime someone tells me how much they love Glow, I'm like, me too. And I'm so pissed. It got canceled because truly I was a fan of the show. And, you know, for me, I really loved being involved with it and being around you girls and the camaraderie and the bonds that we had and stuff. And just being on set and being silly and making this amazing product that people love to this day. And it's like, man, it's so sad. And for me, season 4 was going to be an aha moment for me because I was deemed as Lou, the circuit referee, and I had lines and everything in that first match. And I was so excited about having an aha moment and being a part of this. And then it never got to be. So, you know, that's something that I just, oh man. And look, there's that photo of me, Ryan, you, Taya, Johnny. Oh, remember Johnny? Okay. No, I need to, hold on. Okay. Oh, do you want me to tell that story? I know. Please do. So, one of my favorite Marty moments of all time. So, the first season, Johnny came in to play Salty the Sack. Salty the Sack, who was supposed to be our wrestling trainer on the show. And he had a moment where he was teaching us how to run the ropes. And it was the first real wrestling that the hero ring had seen. Yes. So he's running the ropes, and you kind of just hear maybe a little bit of like what sounds like a little scratching noise. Like, it sounds like he's running so hard that he's moving the ring back and forth. So we're all shooting, we're getting into it, we're like, wow, like he's going really hard. At one point, he hits the ropes and it snaps the post. I've never seen any human being run and react as fast as Marty ran. Like, in the middle of the shot, he didn't care, just booked it out from behind. You came through, then CHAVO came through, SHAUNA came through. And it was one of those moments where, like, I can still hear like it's almost like PTSD. I can hear the sound of the post snap because he just had so much energy behind it.
Yeah.
And like, it was one of those moments where it made me realize for you, Marty, just how much you were here for us, because you were pissed. You were pissed that you found out this ring was not properly welded together. Yeah. And you took it upon yourself. Like, you, correct me if I'm wrong or if this is too personal.
No,
you almost took it on yourself that it was your fault.
I did. And I even went to Leanne and I told her.
Yeah.
And I said, look, if this in any way looks bad on me, I said, I take full responsibility for the ring. And if you need to let me go, I understand that, Leanne. And I'm sorry this happened. And I went to her and I told her that if you need to fire me, I'll completely understand. And that's how invested I was. And that's how much I wanted to protect you girls. And for me, I felt that I let you guys down in that moment because I didn't know, because we had to cut these rings. We had to modify them for shooting and stuff. And unfortunately, the gentleman who was doing our rings for us, he's a great guy. It was just an oversight. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, when you have these little oversights like that, they can be very detrimental. And, that was something that, when you have a post break like that, somebody could have got hurt. And the fact that all you girls were standing around on the apron, like you said, that was probably the fastest I've ever moved in my lifetime.
Ever moved. But I remember you telling me after you told Leanne that, and I got pissed because I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not going anywhere, first of all, but like, it wasn't your fault. But lucky, silver lining, that it was Johnny in the ring who knew how to react and what to do. And like, I remember, because that was the time when we had some like extras sprinkled in.
Yes, we did.
Because we were narrowing down, and they were all like, wow, like, that was amazing. And all of us girls were like, is Marty okay? Is Johnny okay? Is the ring okay? Like, it became our home for so long that we were like, what's going to happen now? And of course, like, we got it fixed. We shot it, but it was just one of those moments where it was like, it was funny, it was scary, it was amazing. I don't want it to ever happen again.
It's funny when I look at that episode and I see Johnny running the ropes like he did and stuff, I'm always waiting for that beam to break.
Me too.
And I'm sure that footage is somewhere out there. Somebody's got it. Netflix has it. But when I see that episode, I cringe every time because it doesn't happen. Thank God.
Because like, I remember, like, I mean, we had the best crew around. Our crew throughout the 4 seasons was, I've worked in this business a long time. There will never be a crew like Glow. There has never been a crew like Glow. They were family. And I remember our grip department basically kind of just started saying after that, like, to lighten the mood, like, well, blooper reel. Like, and it kind of just like spread throughout the crew. And we were just like, like, we're making a wrestling show. Like, this is, the stuff that we got to get used to. And it was just, it was the first day shooting in Chavo's gym set.
Yes, it was. It was the very first day.
Welcome to Glow.
Welcome to Glow. I had so many aha moments on Glow and being a part of that. And now that it's not what it should be, and looking back on all these fond memories and stuff, I remember being on set and shooting with you guys, and of course training with you guys. And I remember the little stuff that props would have, and the props department was great because there was things that, like the flyers and things of that nature, and then like the little things that we had, and I remember they would go, I would say, do you think I could have that little piece of paper? And they were like, oh yeah, sure. It wasn't a big thing, but to me, I mean, it meant the world because I have these very cool aha moments and these memories of these things that I had from the actual show of stuff that was actually on camera. And I just sit back. But one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't get a CARMEN t-shirt. Remember we had the CARMEN t-shirts?
Let's not talk about them because I don't have one either.
I was really bummed about not getting a CARMEN t-shirt because it was something that I wanted, and hopefully, I'm sure there's somewhere in storage. I was
about to say, one day some other show is gonna like uncover it and be like, what is this? And then post it like on the internet. We'll be like, can we have that?
Yeah. They'll probably charge us $1,000 for it.
We'll
but
pay.
you know, it's like, hey man, I mean, and you know, for me, the aha moment was too, and like you said, you know, I was really concerned about you girls, always safety and making sure that those rings were taken care of and stuff. And being there with you girls and being on that set and feeling the love, it just really confirmed for me that I had made that transition from professional wrestling into Hollywood and stuff. And the fact that you guys welcomed me with open arms and you guys were there to help me, encourage me, because season 3, I was going through a bad time personally. And you girls were there to help me, pick me up, give me advice, give me opinions of stuff, you know, and I can never repay you guys. But at that point, I felt like I was part of the family. I was part of Hollywood. I was finally going to be doing something, you know, that was going to take me to the next level. And I didn't have to worry about doing professional wrestling anymore because I was finally accepted. Yeah. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you and I can't thank you enough. And the other girls for loving me and for allowing me to be a part of this amazing show that we did.
Yeah. I mean, I love you. And I love that. I love that that was your feeling for you, because that was the feeling for me as well. And it's funny because it's very similar to when I say the Glow Girls, I think of Chris Lowell and I think of Mark Maron. Like, I don't discern them, but like when I think of our Glow team, I think of you four. I think of you, CHAVO, Helena, and SHAUNA. Like, without one of you, it wouldn't have worked. And that's full stop. Without one of you, we would not be the wrestlers we became. We would not now be the actors that we became or the women that we became, because this show really did change our life. And you guys are such a huge part of that. And like you said at the beginning of the top of the show, you and I are friends for life now. Like, we text. We have been planning a Disney trip for 4 years.
Yes, we have.
That has not come to fruition yet.
Yeah. Thank you, COVID.
COVID. Each time we go, we're like, where's Marty? Like, you know, it's one of those things where you're right. Like, I felt that aha moment too, where it's like, you're finally where you belong and you finally feel like you're part of your people. You're part of your team, your family. And that definitely was Glow for me as well. So it's like, I'm glad to hear that it was that for you too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, I hope we can feel that again somewhere else, but it's
and again, you know, when people mention Glow or somebody likes it or they love it or whatever, it makes me smile because I was a part of that. I was a part of that. And to hear people, first ADs, production directors, producers or whatever, oh my God, I loved Glow on Netflix. I loved this. And I was like, well, I was part of that. And oh, really? What was it like? And, you know, I start telling the stories. Yeah. I start telling the stories, and, you know, to see these producers, first ADs, UPMs geek out to it, I just go, we did something special. We did. We really did. So, Britney, I'm going to close out here, love. Where can folks catch you? What's going on with Britney Young today?
Well, this is going to be such a sad answer. Things are happening, but there are things I can't discuss because I've signed paperwork. But things are definitely happening. Like I said, guys, pandemic year, everything shut down. We're now coming back out of that. We're coming strong. Definitely have a few things in the works that will happen or come out the beginning of next year, hopefully. And then, yeah, I mean, if you want to follow my amazing book posts on Instagram, I'm on Instagram at Britney Young, and then on Twitter at It's Britney Young. So
It's Britney Young.
I know.
Awesome.
Britney Young was already taken on Twitter. So
okay. So there's another Britney Young. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you sooner than later and us finally doing that Disney trip that we've been planning for 4 years. So thank you so much for taking the time, coming on this show and being a part of it and sharing these amazing stories. I love you, my sister, and be well. And I will see you sooner than later. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Take care. So, guys, thank you very much. That was Britney Young, Glow. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories. A lot of good stuff came out of it. But one of the things that I do want to remind you guys is make sure you guys are downloading the Kill Cliff TV app. You guys can do that to see the full episodes of Life After 3. You can also get those on Brink's TV app. And you guys can actually play trivia. You guys can actually ask questions, and you guys can win prizes. So please go there and download the Kill Cliff TV app. All you got to do is register, email, password, and you're in. And just punch in Life After 3 or Marty Elias, and there you go. And again, thank you to Kill Cliff. I really appreciate being a part of this platform. Thank you guys very much. And with that said, I want you guys to know that these Kill Cliff energy drinks are amazing. This is a fruit punch knockout. It's amazing. I've never been a guy who's been a drink guy, but these are amazing. And I also wanted to say that their CBD line is amazing. And I say that for a reason, because my mother is 74 years old. She has some aches and pains. She's got some things going on with her, unfortunately. But drinking these CBD Kill Cliff drinks has really improved her mobility and stuff. So thank you to Kill Cliff for that. My mother is feeling well. And again, if you want to grab these, killcliff.com, go check it out. And thank you guys very much. And remember, own it and kill it. And until next time, be blessed. Love you. Take care.